Hello everyone, and very warm welcome to this environmental risk management tool tutorial. Today we will see together how to use this ERMT tool and how to conduct a full environmental screening using it. I am Tom Lamache and I'm the one who developed the tool based on the NEET Plus and the MERA matrix. So first of all, we will go through a tool presentation to see a little bit the background. Then we will go to the technical setup. We will see how to enable the macros because the macros are important for the tool to run. Then we will go to a full case walkthrough and we will give some tips and go to the conclusion. Let's start with our first part of the tutorial, which is the tool presentation. We will focus in this part on what is the ERMT and what does it do. First of all, the objective of the tool is to equip humanitarians with an integrated tool to effectively mainstream environmental consideration and mitigate environment-related risk. It does it through a single digital file that guides the entire environmental screening process and delivers related outputs. So the objective for this tool is to help you conducting environmental screening from start to the end, and it includes generating the outputs. It is based on the NEET Plus, the Nexus Environmental Assessment Tool developed by the Joint Environmental Unit. The ERMT expands the functionality of the NEET Plus, and it also includes the MERA matrix, which is developed by the Réseau Environnement Humanitaire. The outputs that are generated by the tool is the environmental screening report to share with donors and partners, and the risk mitigation scorecard that is supporting on monitoring implementation. Now that you know a little bit more about the context, let's go to the technical setup. So to use the tool, you will need to enable the macros for the file, and we will go together through the process. So for the technical setup, now I'm in my email, but if you are saving the file otherwise, it's the same. So first of all, I will save the file on my local computer. So I will download it. Then I will go to my files. I go to download and I find the file. I open the file. So I see there is a ribbon here. So it is saying protected view. I enable editing. Once you enabled editing, there is a security risk ribbon saying that the macros have been blocked. So what you do first of all is you go to File, you go to Option, then you find Trust Center settings, then you find macro settings, and you enable all macros. Maybe it's already ticked. In this case, you just have to check that enable VBA macro is ticked and enable Excel 4.0 macros as well. Then you go to OK, OK, and you go out of the file. You close it. Then you will go to right click on the file and you go to Properties. In Properties, you will see there is a security message. This file comes from another computer and can eventually be blocked to protect this laptop. So you click on unlock. I'm sorry it's in French, but it will be more or less the same message. Once you have done that, you can open the file again. And this time you see there is this welcome form that is appearing. This is the sign that your technical setup is finished. You are ready to use the ERMT. Congratulations, you succeed with the technical setup, and now we will go to the case walkthrough, a step-by-step live demonstration. So to give you a little bit of the structure of the tool, it's organized around three steps. So the first one is the data collection, then the mitigation measure screening, and then the generation of the report and the monitoring tool. So in the data collection phase, you will complete the key project information, as well as the sensitivity questionnaire and the relevant sector-specific questionnaire that are shelter, wash, and food security. Then you will screen the different mitigation measures for your project from the list displayed by the NEET Plus, but as well from the MERA matrix. And you have the step 2 that is optional, using the decisional support pathway to help the decision making. Then there is the third step that is generating the report and the scorecard, and of course to share it with donor partners and implementation teams. So So we are back in the tool with the macro enabled. So you have the welcome form. The welcome form is following you all along using the tool, so you can always refer to it. So you can be guided. Let's start. So as you see, anytime you switch Excel sheet, you can go to the next step using the user guide, but you can also choose to go with the tab that is at the bottom of the screen. The first step with the data collection phase is to enter the different information of your project. So to enter the information, it is simple. You go in the cell and you type the name of your project. And you do the same for every light blue cell. Once you completed the key information of your project, you can go to the user guide here and you click to the next step, which is to sensitivity questionnaire. It will guide you through the sensitivity questionnaire, and this is where you will assess the particular risk given your context. So for this, you have a questionnaire and you have to answer given a pop-up windows here the most relevant information. So, for instance, what is the population in the area being assessed? And if in the location I'm assessing it's more than 25,000 people, then I go for more than 25,000. So it's always the same. You don't have to input yourself data. It's always among a data validation list. So that's how you complete the sensitivity module questionnaire. Once you completed the sensitivity module questionnaire using the key informant interview, you can go to the next step, which are the sectoral modules. These are not mandatory, it depends on the planned activity for your program. So if I'm planning to conduct WASH activity, I go to WASH module introduction, and I can choose among different sub-modules. So if, for instance, I'm planning to implement water collection extraction system for the design sub-module, then I will go to the light blue cell, click on the arrow, and click yes. Then, if I click yes on that one, it means that if I go to the WASH questionnaire, I will have only this sub-module displayed, and I will be able to answer only to this sub-module. The same, I go to the arrow and I choose the most relevant situation. If you see, there is many other questionnaires, they are not displayed because I did not choose, for instance, the water distribution network design sub-module. So I'm not answering this part of the question. It is not relevant as I did not choose to implement this kind of activity. Okay, so to continue with the case walkthrough, I completed a data collection step on my file. So I have the different information about my project, my sensitivity questionnaire that is filled in, and I also choose to put some of the module for shelter, materials construction sub-module, and household item sub-modules. So I completed in the shelter questionnaire, same for the wash, and same for the food security. I have some module that I have selected and I answered here. So my data collection step is complete. I can go to step 2, mitigation screening sensitivity. So it is there. I go on that tab. Here we are starting the step 2 of the ERMT. If you remember, there was 3 steps. The first one is the data collection. We just completed it. The second one is the mitigation screening. We are starting right now. And the third one is the output generation. So you can see in this mitigation screening sensitivity tab, in column B, you have the issue of concern, so the environmental risk, large concentration on number of people, high dependency to the natural environment, etc., etc. In column C, you have the level of risk, so high or medium, and you have the mitigation measure that is proposed by the tool. So, for instance, the first one, explore alternative settlement, but you have a whole list of them, okay? So the objective here will be to select only the mitigation measures that are relevant for your project, relevant and feasible. So when you find out that there is one relevant mitigation measure, for instance, I have screened this one that is really relevant for my project, plan for introduction and dissemination of fuel efficient stoves. So for instance, if I want to implement this mitigation measure in my program, I can put yes in column L. In this case, it will be highlighted green here, and it will be directly reported in the output, so the report in the scorecard. You don't have anything else to do. You can also, this is optional, put a description and comment. This is also what we advise. So you can put any advice that put more into details what you want to do in your program. So for instance, I want to that the project distribute improved cook stove for the most vulnerable household, reducing reliance on firewood and alleviating pressure on natural resources, which is a big problem in my context. Now I want to showcase a little bit one of the optional features that we have in the ERMT. Because this tool is designed for non-environmental specialists, you have the possibility to click on this orange button. When you click on it, you have different criteria that are displayed: expected impact, financial feasibility, technical feasibility, and social acceptance. So you have the possibility to put a weight here. So for instance, for the impact, I can put major impact, moderate to no impact. And here, when I fill in the decisional support pathway, I will have an advice based on the weighting that I put. So for instance, if I put that there is no impact of this mitigation measure, the tool will tell me, please do not implement this considering the impact. So you will have a customized advice based on your weighting. But for instance, if I put that there is a major impact, then it's highly feasible, and also the technical feasibility is high and the social acceptance would be high as well. I can say that okay, the tool is strongly advising me to implement, so I would put yes in here. So it will be reported as a commitment that I will be implementing this mitigation measure. And then I can also put my comment that I I have input it prior to the demonstration. So this is a little bit a way that you can help yourself by being advised by the tool. This is optional. You don't need to do it, but you can do it if you like to. So when you finish to screen every mitigation measure that you want to implement for the sensitivity module, you can go to the sectoral module you completed. So you can use this user guide here. For instance, I want to go to the shelter screening. I click here, I go to the shelter screening. Then your first step is to click here to reflect mitigation measure recommended by NIT+. You have pop-up window saying that it will take up to 1 minute. You say OK. And then you have the list that is updated given your data collection. Here you can navigate, find out which of the mitigation measures proposed are relevant. For instance, for me, this is about the management of the hazardous waste. So I want to select that one. I say yes, and I put my comment saying that I will be coordinating with municipal authority to ensure that only construction materials that are recoverable by the sanitary landfill are used. So this is an option, no? That's why also it's very important to add comment, because sometimes the mitigation measure proposed by the tool are not very specific, so you have to add some comment. You also have the decisional pathway if you like to. It's not mandatory, as I was saying before. Then you can do exactly the same with the WASH module, the food security module. So I will come back to you once I have screened for every of my modules. So I am back and I have conducted my mitigation screening, but I had a problem because in my mitigation screening for WASH, I couldn't find any mitigation measures that are really relevant for my program in the list displayed. So in this case, it's quite simple. You have the possibility, if you go to the user guide, to go directly to the mitigation bank MERA. So this is where the MERA matrix is displayed as a bank of mitigation measure. So you can click, for instance, in the WASH button, and then you will see a list of mitigation measures that are relevant and actionable for WASH. So, for instance, in my case, because I want to do groundwater abstraction, I found out that this mitigation measure install groundwater monitoring with telemetry reporting is relevant. So I can go to column F, and in column F I have a data validation list. I can put yes, and in this case it will be as well reported in the report and scorecard. So this is how you can use the MERA matrix in the ERMT. There is as well another way that you can use the MERA matrix in the ERMT is to select mitigation measures related to sectors that are included in the NIT+, so different from FSL, WASH, and shelter. So for instance, I can close the WASH tab and I can go to the Health and NIT tab, and I can try to find a mitigation measure that is important for the program. And for instance, I have the design communication material based on community preferences. This is something I want to implement. So I put yes here. Once I put yes here, I can go to my user guide. In my user guide, I can go to mitigation author. It will guide you to this tab. And you see, there is already there is already the mitigation you screen from the MERA that are included here. So I will finish to complete this tab and come back to you. So here you can see I have completed this mitigation other tab with the activity related, the description and comment, the sector. So once I have done this, I have finished with the mitigation screening step. So as you remember, there was the first step, which was the data collection, then the mitigation screening, and we will go to the third one, which is the generation of the report and the scorecard. So I go to the user guide and I go to the report. So here we are in the environmental screening report sheet. And as you can see, there is a report template that is already partially fulfilled. And before we ask the tool to update the report using the user guide, we can manually complete the project description. I have prepared one, as well as the alignment with the national and environmental regulation. That is also important to showcase that the project program is consistent with the context. No? When it is done, we have this update report button in the user guide that we will be clicking on it. It will create a pop-up window saying that, okay, it will take up to 5 minutes. I say, okay, let's go. And then we will have to wait for a little bit of time. So here we are. The report has been successfully updated by the tool. So let's review what it gave. So now we have like the number of mitigation measure plan for implementation that is fulfilled, as well as the sector concern. We have the project description and the alignment, as well as the risk matrix that you can see. And we have the details breakdown of the mitigation measure that has been updated as well. So we have every mitigation measure we screened in the second step using the tool. And at the end, we have summary. So this summary takes all the elements of the report and summarizes them. And now we are able to go to the next step, which is the scorecard. If I go to my user guide, then I go to the scorecard. Here it's exactly the same with the scorecard. You go to update and you wait a little bit. So here we can see that the scorecard is fully updated. It's the same. You have the breakdown of the different mitigation measures, and you can as well complete the different what is the expected impact, the proposed means of verification. Then you can rate after for the evaluation, you rate the implementation, you can describe, and you can add link to MOVs. So this is also something you can customize further if you go back to environmental screening report. You can see in the user guide again, you can export the file in a new Excel file. In this case, it will export only the outputs, which are so the report and the scorecard, and you can further customize them depending on your needs. And you can also export the environmental screening in PDF. So I will do that right now. So for instance, it asks you, are you using Mac? For me, I am using Windows, so I click no. And do you want to include the sensitivity summary annex? Yes, I want. This is part of the Need Plus. Also the annex for the shelter, the wash, and the food security. I want to include them all. So I will be waiting for the tool to work, and I will go on my desktop, environmental report. I will save it there. Now the tool is working on the PDF generation. It's publishing. So, okay. Here we go. So, as you can see, the PDF has been successfully created. So, you can click OK, and then you can see it's already open in your computer. So, there is the full report that is here, as well as the different need plus summaries that I choose to include. So this you can directly share it with the donors and partners. You don't have further customization to do. It's already there. Then, if you like to, you can go back to the report sheet and you can as well export in a new Excel file. This is in case you want to further customize the outputs. In this case, it's the same. You can save it anywhere on your computer. Then you have this pop-up window saying that you saved it in a particular file. It's okay. And you can already see the new Excel file. It's opening. So you see my ERMT is here. And the new file I've created is here. Only the outputs are exported. And you can have your scorecard here with the detailed breakdown that you can continue complete. And you have the report that is as well here. So you can further customize if you want to change the name of the project, anything. It's possible without any disturbance of the original file. So if you want to go back to the previous version, it's also possible. So yes, perfect. I think we are going to the end. We tested the ERMT and we will go to the conclusion now. So we are going towards the end of this tutorial video, but before we finish, I would like to give you some tips. So the first one is to always save the tool locally on your laptop. OneDrive, SharePoint, or Google Drive, they are corrupting the file and then it's not working anymore. So save it on your on your laptop directly. The data collection is key. Find a key informant with good knowledge of the area assessed. So this is a little bit obvious, but the quality of your data collection depends on the key informant and the knowledge of the area. Use the decisional pathway if you need it. It will support the decision making. And for further customization, export the environmental screening report and scorecard in another Excel using the export XLS feature. So it's the green button in the report sheet. For the next steps, download the ERMT and save it locally. Start conducting environmental screening using the tool and send us your feedbacks. It's very important for us to continuously improve the tool. So please be very welcome. Send us a message and we will try to improve and to include your ideas in the next version of the tool. Thank you very much and see you.